everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Positive Reinforcement. We've made it. It's been another week. It's been a good week. It's been a short week. Labor Day weekend is always nice. Everything kind of just feels like we're right on schedule now. We're right on track. We got our regular block schedule happening. The first 2 weeks was just periods 1 through 6 every single day, constantly seeing the same faces all of the time. The block periods break it up pretty nice. Excuse me here. I'm going to open up my Diet Snapple sponsor. No, I'm not sponsored at all, but maybe one day. Last week I was drinking some LaCroix. I know a lot of you like to pronounce it LaCroix, but you're wrong. It's LaCroix. And that was giving me some the bubbles were making me not able to speak very well. I kept burping up whatever I was talking about. But hey, that's the first episode, you know. You gotta work out the kinks. And we're still doing that. I brought my light a little closer. Can't really tell if it has made an improvement. I felt like the last video was kind of dark, and I'm making the mistake of looking directly into the light. Let's not do that again, so I can preserve my eyesight. So right off the bat, you might have noticed that we had a different song last week compared to right now. The song that was just played right now was a song that I actually wrote and composed. Don't want to get into any YouTube copyright issues this early on. Last week's episode, I started it off with a Reggie and the Full Effect song. A very good song. You should check it out. It's called, what is it called? Thanks for Staying, I think. Yeah, Thanks for Staying. It's a great song. Check it out. But I used that last week, and I don't want to get into any YouTube trouble here. Speaking of, I made an entire audiobook for Lord of the Flies, my favorite novel of all time. I teach it during the spring semester, and I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to take that book and record my own voice to it, put music, put sound effects, put atmosphere and all that, and I finally did it 2 summers ago. And I used it for the first time last year, and it was so much fun. A bunch of colleagues used it too, and the feedback was great. But I gained a lot of YouTube subscribers because of that video, and thank you very much if you are someone that has used that audiobook in class or as a student or as a teacher or even just someone who has been interested in reading the book. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for all the wonderful things that you've said about the audiobook. I really appreciate it. But I've gained a lot of subscribers because of those videos, those chapters that I made, and I tried to monetize my YouTube channel, thinking like, okay, I've got enough views, I got enough hours, listened to by my subscribers to qualify for monetization. I applied twice, and it didn't work. I had a few videos with some copyright issues that I completely deleted, but still, for some reason, just can't be monetized. And I think it's because, well, I know it's because YouTube is telling me that my Lord of the Flies videos are not educational. That's the only reason why I use them, is for educational purposes. But in order for them to qualify as educational, I have to stop the video or stop the reading and pop in like, hey, did you catch the symbolism here? Let's talk about it. But I'm not going to do that stuff because every teacher and every person reads at their own level and they have their own interpretations of different things. Like, it's impossible to narrow Lord of the Flies down to one specific interpretation. I'm not going to do that. So I might lose out on the opportunity to get paid for it, but I'm not going to sacrifice the quality content of Lord of the Flies for money. What do you think I am, some kind of sellout? Diet Snapple, the best stuff on earth. Is that the greatest stuff on earth? I don't know. Let's see what their cap says today. Water can boil and freeze at the same time. All right. So right out of the gate, first podcast last week was a major hit. Thank you to everybody for saying such nice things. Thank you to everybody for listening and commenting and liking and all that. It means a lot. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm going to continue doing these podcasts every Thursday until I get bored and stop doing it. But for right now, I feel like it's a good time. But one thing, I got a few messages from students, from family, from friends, messaging me, straight up telling me, you don't have pictures of yourself in the 300 bathroom. You don't have pictures of you and other teachers in the staff bathroom. Why are you lying? Prove it. Part of me doesn't want to prove it. Part of me just wants to keep the mystique alive and not give in to your demands. But at the same time, I don't want you thinking that I'm over here just making stories up about hanging up pictures in the 300 bathroom. So I'm going to cave, and I'm going to give you proof. Here is proof that there are Hollywood headshot photographs of other English teachers that teach in the 300 wing. Here's your proof. There you go. See? It's real. And some of you might be thinking like, oh, they just took pictures after the podcast and hung them up. Whatever. If you believe that I would lie about that and then try to act like it was true by making pictures from then till now, that's too much work. No, I don't care if you don't believe me. So today's, this is the first week back where we have something called late start. The kids don't come to school until 9:20, and we have PLC meetings, PLC, professional learning communities, where all the teachers get together and talk about their lesson plans and all that. Pardon me. I guess it doesn't matter what I'm drinking. I'm going to get burpy. Anyway, so today was our first late start, and about 6 o'clock this morning, we had Dutch Brothers. I call it Dutch Brothers. If everyone else calls it Dutch Bros, fine, but I just don't feel comfortable saying bros. And some cinnamon roll place. 2 trucks with Dutch Brothers and cinnamon rolls were out this morning from 6 o'clock to about 8:45. And I don't know about you. I'm 32 years old. I was in high school in the early 2000s. Coffee was just nothing that I or my other friends cared about. It's like, it's this huge trend with high schoolers that I don't remember being a trend back when I was in school. Coffee was for old people. Coffee was for mom and dad. Coffee was not for me or us. Like, we're 14 years old. We have energy, like, what do we need coffee for? And I see students, they drink it constantly. I have a coffee machine in my room. I don't think I'm going to do this again this year, so any present students currently watching, I apologize. But last year, I had the offer that if you came in to your class period and you were the first one to ask for coffee, I'd make you a cup of coffee. And man, it turned into an all-out war. There would be times where kids would be racing to my room, jumping inside. Mr. Norris, can I get a coffee? Mr. Norris, can I get a coffee? Mr. Norris, can I get a coffee? And I had to, it got too much. So this year I'm getting rid of my free coffee. But I just don't get it. Like, are kids that in need of it? What's going on? If anything, they need something to calm the hell down. I got 2 security guys out here talking to each other. One's got a little siren on top of the cart. Who knows what's going on out there? But yeah, so we had Dutch Brothers and cinnamon rolls, and it's cool. If it's going to bring kids here earlier, why not, So today was pretty eventful. I don't feel too comfortable sharing this, but I'm going to anyway because, we're all about being real here. Teachers connecting with teachers. This is the 3rd official week of school starting. And as of yesterday afternoon, I had 62 students failing my class, with another 25 having a D in my class. That is the worst it has ever been for the start of the school year for me in all 7 years of teaching. So I was not happy with that. So literally every class period today, I had 3 class periods today, I stood up in the front of the class and I just real talked them. I don't usually give this speech this early. Usually I give it every year, but not this early. Basically, they sit down. I tell them, guys, we need to talk. It gets really quiet. It gets really silent. They're looking at me like, whoa, why is he so serious? And I just break it down like, guys, all I want you to remember is that I'm here to help you succeed. That is all I want you to do, is succeed in class. But right now, you're kind of embarrassing yourselves, and you're embarrassing me. And I threw up the number of D's and F's I had, and their faces dropped. Like even they were shocked, which made me feel a little bit better, I guess, but not really. Anyway, I just talked to them about work ethic and being prepared and personal responsibility and how they're sophomores in high school now. They're young adults and they're about to enter the real world. And if they can't write a freaking alternate ending to Harrison Bergeron in 4 days, how are they going to survive in the real world? I'm petrified for these kids. If they can't even write an ending to a story in 4 days, and I'm expecting them to go out and hold jobs and provide for their families? No. That scares me to death. So, anyway, I gave them that big speech, and you could hear a pin drop in this room. It was so deathly quiet, and I feel bad yelling at them. I'm not yelling at them, but I am lecturing them. And they're all such good kids so far, which, juxtaposed with how lazy they've been, it makes it really frustrating as a teacher to deal with that. But hopefully they'll turn it around. They definitely proved to me today that they can be self-efficient. Periods are 2 hours today, hour and 45 minutes, and they worked in silence the entire time. And that proved to me that A, they care a great deal. B, they feel bad that I feel bad and I was upset. So just seeing those 2 things right off the bat makes me confident that they're going to be able to turn it around. So we'll see a couple of podcasts from now if that's true or not. But man, this is good Snapple. Peach tea diet. 10 calories, that's it, compared to like the 150 for the original Snapple, which is just full of sugar and just makes me feel terrible. I had Jack in the Box the other day. They have their big chicken sandwich combo for like $4. It's delicious. There's literally a triple option and a quad option. Hey, if you're listening right now and you have ordered the quad option, we can never be friends. Just wanted to put that out there. It's too much. No one should ever eat that much food and feel proud after that. Okay, so I have my little notepad here. There's something I'd like to talk about that me and Mr. Bacon kind of created. It's something called the teacher portal. And I'm not going to get into specific examples of what we've seen in this teacher portal, but let me explain it to you the best that I can. The teacher portal. So while you're student teaching, if you're a student teacher right now, or even a first year teacher right now, you're probably very much on this like follow the rules trend. You're very by the book. You're doing everything that you have been taught in college. And you don't want to stray away from that because that's not what professionals do, right? That's your mindset. I was there. Most teachers are there at the very beginning. The teacher portal. So this is my 7th year teaching. This is Mr. Bacon's 13th year of teaching. Let's use the teacher bathroom stuff as an example. When we were first putting up pictures of ourselves and hanging up art in the bathroom, we would look at each other and say like, oh, that teacher portal's open right now. Meaning there's some stuff that you do down the road in your career as teachers that you would never think that you would do when you're student teaching or when you're in your first year. Like, you think back, like, I never saw myself hanging up pictures of other teachers in the teacher bathroom. I never saw myself doing that. So it's like a portal to the past and the future of looking at yourself doing these weird things that you'd never think you'd do. That's what we talk about when we bring up the teacher portal. So every teacher's got one, I'm sure, where they think to themselves like, wow, I can't believe I just said that. I never would have said that back in my first year. Or I can't believe I'm using this strategy. I never saw myself teaching this way, right? That's the teacher portal opening, giving you a view into how things can change so drastically and how you as a teacher and a person can change. It's not a bad thing. Usually the teacher portal is very entertaining. And so yeah, everyone's going to have their own teacher portal at some point. All right, so this is my 7th year teaching. And I posted this on Facebook yesterday, but this is the first time that I genuinely feel like I know what I'm doing when it comes to this job. And I still feel like there's so much left to learn. Very serious moment here, but let me go ahead and say it. We are always a work in progress. I tell this to my students. We are never a finished product. And if you start to get to a point where you feel like, I got it, we're good, I figured it out, I know the ropes, guys, I'm the expert here. Hey, if you need advice, come to me, because I'm your guy or gal, whatever you want to be. I'm here and I'm perfect. If you ever start to feel that way, you are living life incorrectly. We will never be 100% of an expert on something. We can be 92%, we can be even 96%, but we're never going to be a 100% expert on anything. And if anybody claims that they are 100% of an expert on anything, run away from them. Punch them in the face first, and then run away from them. I'm just kidding. I don't condone violence of any kind. Looking at my agenda here. Here's something I want to talk about. There's this viral video. Apparently it's not too viral because my students don't know about it. But there's this video of this anchorwoman who is talking about a police officer that I'm pretty sure died in the line of fire. And it's a very serious news story. And the woman, for us Americans, has a very uncommon name. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Deirdre Mangadot. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. But the anchorwoman who's talking about this fallen police officer doesn't even come that close. Comes nowhere near that close to pronouncing her name correctly. You know what? I'm not even going to... Let's just roll the clip. This is what I show my students. This is what I show... Go ahead. Roll it to the imaginary crew that I have. Here's the clip.
And hundreds gathered today to say their final goodbyes to this fallen Louisville police officer, D.D. Megadoodoo.
There you go. So she calls her on live television D.D. Megadoodoo. It's one of the hardest things to watch, and it's one of the funniest things to watch. But after my long tirade today, I played that video to show them what a lack of preparedness and what a lack of personal responsibility looks like in the adult world. So I kind of use that video as a metaphor, like, hey, do you want to be Deirdre Mangadot or do you want to be D.D. Megadoodoo? The choice is yours. So, pretty funny video. I have this board in my classroom. I have 2 whiteboards, and one of them, I didn't know what to do with it at the start of the year. Usually I put up my my literary terms. We have like 55 words that we study throughout the year. But I was tired of just having them up there all the time. The board just wasn't being utilized. So this year, anytime students turn in work where they're offering their own opinion or their own interpretation on something, I put my favorite quotes from my actual students up on that board. And they've had some pretty insightful things to say so far. We've had some discussions about what's the difference between fairness and equality. We read Harrison Bergeron, so I was asking them, why is it detrimental to society to have 100% true equality? What would that look like, and why is that a bad thing? And these kids had so many awesome things to say. And the other day we analyzed this awesome illustration where it's hands coming up and the butterflies are coming out of it, and the hands look really creepy and stone-like. Here's the picture. So we analyzed that, and they had some great interpretations about what the ultimate message of that art piece could be. So bottom line is, I really like having student dialogue or student interpretations up on the board. So yeah, it's important to have student work up, but to be honest, a lot of high school projects aren't very artistic. You know, it's not elementary school where we have drawings and stuff. Like, we do some of that here and there, but not a lot. So if you're a high school teacher and you're feeling like, I don't know what to put on my boards as far as student work goes, put up quotes from them, stuff that they say that really kind of touched you or meant something to you, something that you feel is worth sharing. So that's what this board is all about. Pardon me. Snapple, man, it gets to you. It's 103 degrees today. I think it was 103 degrees last week when I did this podcast. So it's September 4th. Let's cool it, literally, with the weather. It's ridiculous. Right now, feeling pretty good. I think I'm sweatless right now. Couple years ago, I started to buy the Thompson tees. Those were shown on Shark Tank not too long ago, and then they have a website, and basically it's an undershirt that has these extra layers of fabric to stop people that have excessive sweat like I do. Hyperhidrosis, right? Is that what it's called? Hyperhidrosis, that sounds right. But people that have excessive sweat, not because they're anxious or hot, they're just sweaty people, and that's me. So the shirt helped a lot, but I hate wearing undershirts. Can't stand it. It just feels like extra baggage. Don't like it. So I wore them for a while, and they worked, but I just got so tired of the Thompson tee. Anyway, bottom line is, get something called Drysol. Looks like this. I don't think you can get it as a prescription anymore. I went to my dermatologist a couple years ago and got it prescribed to me, and it works perfectly. But then I think they stopped doing it that way, and you can just buy it. I get it on Amazon now. The extra strength formula. It's in a red bottle, and it stings like hell at first, but once your body adjusts to the applications of it, man, it's a night and day difference. I don't have to worry about excessive sweat anymore. It's perfect. So if you're a teacher that is constantly self-conscious of being up in the front and not having to lift up your arms because you're scared that the kids will see your sweaty pits, get the Drysol. It works like a charm. Changed my life, to be honest. Well, we're looking at about 25 minutes almost. I think I've run out of things to really talk about. It's been a very easy week. It's already almost over. Pretty laid back. Hey, fall time's coming up. Halloween stuff is coming up. My favorite time of the year is starting very, very soon. And I can't wait to do like a Halloween-themed episode of this podcast. I'll get some decorations going on behind me. It'll be cool. So I think that's it. Again, had a good time. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully you got something meaningful out of it. Hopefully you had a laugh or two or whatever. I'm done. So I will see you next Thursday for episode 3 of Positive Reinforcement. If you've got any questions about anything that I talked about or anything that you just want to ask, feel free to put it in the comments below and I'll get right back to you. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.